dreamers, and welcome back to PERLA'S Dreams. Um, so Pisces, this is your reading, and again, guys, these are general readings, so just take whatever resonate and leave the rest. Movement, movement is coming up for you guys. Um, mobility. This sense of like getting your physical body is asking you for movement or mobility. There is this sense of like maybe some of you are very like anxious, kind of like I'm picking up this energy of like, yeah, some of you are dealing with some anxiety over um recent decisions of like walking away from situations, whether this was your job. Some of you are worried about like how you're gonna pay your bills or whatever it is. Maybe you were let go of a job, so this may have been something that was unexpected, something that you weren't planning for, something that you weren't prepared for. So it's understandable to have that space of like worriness or something like that. For some of you, if this is in regards to like a relationship, like you're asking yourself whether or not you made the right choice, and it's like, yeah, you did, and you know it. So let's keep moving forward. There is a sense of like whatever it is that has been removed or whatever it is that you have walked away from, there's no going back to it, and there's no need to continuously be looking back in that direction. um for those of you that have recently lost a loved one within like the past year, first of all, my condolences. And then there's also this energy of like, a lot of you have not, it's almost kind of like you haven't gone back to visit the graveyard, right? The grave since the burial. And it's almost kind of like you're finally feeling like it's time for you to go, or it's time for you to visit. And and, and those of you that have been visiting or whatever it is, this feels different than a regular visit. This feels like somebody sitting on someone's gravestone and having like a heart to heart conversation of the hard times that they experience with someone. Now, I know when somebody dies, we're always like, oh, I miss them and this and this and that. But sometimes there are things, whether it is a mother, whether it's a significant, a parent, a significant other, a child, or whatever. There are things that we wish we could have said, and not just like the "I loves yous" and things like this, but also like, you made me feel this way. Especially like if this is somebody that, in any way, physical, emotionally, or sexually abused you as a child. Like sometimes you want to say like, "I hate you for what you did to me. I hate," you know what I mean. So this is kind of like what I'm picking up. Somebody's building up the nerves or coming to the sense of like, I need to go to this person's graveyard. And even though like, especially like, let's say if it was a significant other that died, even if this person like, died and you loved them and you were willing to work things out with them and whatever, and this person cheated on you like right before they died, and you never got to tell them how angry you were, whatever it is, like there is some sort that's there's some form of release, excuse me, in that space of like voicing it, even if it is to their gravestone. And again, I know that sounds weird. I know that sounds like, what is she talking about? But whoever this message is for, it's like there is no need for you to first of all share that with anybody. This is something private, and like, you take it as if you're having a private conversation with this person. It doesn't matter if there's people around you and they're looking at you like you're crazy or whatever it is, or if you've even talked to somebody about wanting to do this and somebody's like, oh, you're so hurt. Yeah, I'm still hurt because there were things that I never got to say. There were things that I never got off my chest. And if saying them to a gravestone is going to help you, then go ahead and do so. Like, that's the thing, is like, we all process hurt and pain in so many different ways. And the thing is that we have come accustomed as a society to tell people what is right and what is wrong when it comes to their healing, what is right and what is wrong when it comes to the way that they process their pain, not realizing that the same way that we're pushing for individuality, the same way that we're pushing to be ourselves, is the same way that we are going to deal with those hard times when they come around. So again, whatever it is that you have to get off your chest, whether it's in front of a urn because the person was cremated, whether it is again at a gravestone or whatever it is, go ahead and say it, and don't feel that by getting something off your chest means that you are dishonoring that person, that you love that person less or anything like that. Some of you really have to get to a place where you are actually forgiving somebody that is no longer here, because you're holding on to that anger, to that frustration, to that feeling of betrayal inside of you, and it's not letting you move forward, it's not letting you heal. All right, so let's go ahead and let's move forward. Aside from that, I do feel like things, and I know I can jump from one thing to the other, but things for you in your life in general are taking a turn for the better. I feel that a lot of you are finally feeling like you're above water, like things are finally falling into place. Again, this person may have passed away within the past year. And this past year may have been very difficult and very challenging because you had to learn how to live without this person in your life. So it almost feels like you're finally coming out of that space where you're still grieving, but your grieving has changed in a lot of different ways. Does that make sense? Alrighty. Um, there's a lot of you have a lot of plans, you have a lot of ideas, you have a lot of things that you want to get into, that you want to do. Pisces, I'm going to stop you right there. Take a seat. Take a seat. Get paper, pen, pencil, whatever. Write down all of these ideas. And you could write them down as goals, as whatever you want, Pisces, and then evaluate what is needed for each of them. Like, what do you need for each of these ideas, right? Like, whether it's starting a business, whether, maybe you want to start 3 different businesses. What is it that you need for each of these businesses? And then evaluate which one it is that you can actually start with. So don't, just because you're getting back on track on something, just because you're feeling like yourself again, doesn't mean that you're going to go ahead and start 10 different things without a solid plan. Make sure that you have a solid plan for whatever goals you are going to start chasing, for whatever goals you're going to be going after, because otherwise this energy is going to become very overwhelming and you're not going to get to none of them. Okay? You're not going to get to none of them. I don't care how resourceful you think you are. You're going to start 10 things, and then, like, within a week or two, you're going to be like, damn, like, what am I doing? Like, how do I move forward? So start with one thing, get very good at it, get comfortable, allow it to become like a second nature, allow it to find its rhythm, its routine, before you go ahead and jump to the next. Now, the reason why I'm asking you to write them all down, because these are all things that you want to accomplish. These are all things that you want to move forward to. So writing them down is going to remind you to go back to them once you have, like, if you think about like a bucket list, right? You write things down on your bucket list and then you start crossing them off as you do them. That this is the same process or the same idea with whatever it is that you are wanting to move into during this time. All right, let's go ahead and let's pull out your oracle card for your final message. Again, releasing something, or if somebody hasn't passed away, and you've been holding on to something, to a connection that has ended, and maybe there are things that you want to say. If you don't want to face somebody, like, and say your piece, you can always write it down and burn it. It is a very beautiful way of releasing things. And it's something that especially if the person is not physically here, or the person is ignoring you or blocking you or whatever, or maybe you just don't want to have contact with them, just releasing it in this way really does allow you to let it go out of your energetic field. All Hallows Eve. Call upon the voices that stir your senses through the night. Cast an unforgiving howl as you stomp your might through the ground. So again, there is a sense of like your voice needing to be heard, your voice needing to be experienced. I don't know why it's coming up that way, but it is. Oh, number 34. Beautiful number. Okay. 34. You are being called to summon your inner magic. The spiritual realm is smiling on you and is waiting to be made of use. You might try working with more profound, darker energies, such as the crone energy or the dark goddess. Um, Calling on a deity regularly will help you develop the ability to summon power at will. So again, when we talk about our voices being heard, right? For a lot of you, maybe this talking to the gravestone is is something again that may be taboo. It may be something that it is not done. Like when people find out like that you work with deities, when you work with different spirits or goddesses or angels or whatever it is, people look at you like you're kind of crazy. Well, this isn't talking to a gravestone may be something that some people may feel is equivalent to it. Like, oh, that's crazy. Like, how can you be angry or be resentful of somebody that passed away or accept, like as if the person passing away erases whatever it is that they did to you, right? So again, there is this space of like you needing to have your voice heard, and maybe calling to your spiritual team to help you identify a way, let's put it this way, to have your voice heard when it comes to somebody that is not physically there anymore. Well, guys, as always, thank you for your love and support. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing to the channel. And if you haven't done so, go ahead and do so. We would love to have you. Sending every single one of you love, strength, and blessing, guys. Take care. Love you all. Mwah. Bye-bye.